Many people dream of starting their own business. They definitely see it as a way that they can attain wealth and get freedom in their life. I remember I certainly had this dream at the beginning that I would create a lot of wealth and take great care of my family. We'd live in nice houses, go on great trips, and live a great life. And it was pretty much going like that. I'd bought a business and it was going pretty well, and I had the house and I had the kids, and then it all went a bit south. I ended up in this situation where I got divorced. My ex-wife moved away. She got custody of the kids. She moved to another country, and I was in a pretty terrible situation. I was in this situation where I had to work in Australia, get enough money together, and then get over to where my kids were. And that changed often. They were in Italy, they were in Spain, they were in Guam. And I'd go to these places, spend time with my kids until I would just totally run out of money. I remember being in Italy and then coming back to Australia, and I had no money, and I rang a friend of mine and asked him, could I come and stay for a couple of days? I stayed on his couch. I landed a bit of work, got myself an apartment, but it was a terrible situation. I was constantly broke, constantly running out of money. And I just had this cognition that I had to go back to doing what I already knew how to do and create another business. And that was tax work, and I didn't really want to, but I thought at least that's going to give me the money to get going a bit. So I was faced with this other sort of problem or obstacle where my kids were still living overseas. So I had to create a business that could run in Australia whilst I was not in Australia, because I didn't have the correct visas, whether it was whether it was the US or Italy or Spain or wherever the kids were. I didn't have a visa to work in those countries. So I had to create a business that allowed me to be able to work in those countries. Be able to generate income whilst I was in those countries and couldn't work in those countries. Now, the way I did this to start with, I just took two very simple actions. Now, remember, I was going to do some tax work. So the two simple actions I took is, the first one is I got my phone and just went through my phone and rang everybody in my phone. I didn't skip over anyone. Like, there'd be names that come up and I think, oh, I owe that guy some money, I don't want to call him, or I had a fallout with that guy. But I just called everybody, told them that I was back doing accounting and tax work. I mean, there was two good effects from this. One is it made sure I cleaned up with all of these people who had been my friends or family or whoever in my past, cleaned up all those communication cycles. But it also put the word out there that I was back and I was doing accounting work. Now, most of them said, thanks very much, we don't need anything. Now, with those ones, I would often say, well, if you hear of anybody who needs anything or you need anything in the future, just reach out and I'll help you. So it's kind of planting the seed there. The second action I took was I just developed some brochures, and I printed them up on the printer in my apartment. And they basically just said, are you happy with your accountant? And I put a quote from somebody, like a testimonial from somebody I had done some work for, and put my phone number and my email address. And within about 3 or 4 days, I was making more calls, and I got a phone call from a guy. This guy said, hey, I got your brochure. I'm interested in seeing if you can help me with the tax problem I've got. My current accountant doesn't seem to be able to help me. So he gave me his address, and I went into his office. When I got to his office, I looked up on the wall, and the company name was Google. And I thought, oh, this could go okay. So I went in, I met with this guy, listened to the problem he had, ended up sorting out the problem for him. And what he did then was he arranged for 5 other Google executives to meet with me. And of those 5, 4 of them jumped on board. So all of a sudden, I had this group of, high wealth guys, senior executives at Google that I was doing the tax work for. I then saw an opportunity with them as well to help them reduce their tax by investing in real estate. So I put together some real estate, like I got a partner involved. He went and found the real estate. I put together the deals for them. And I was now making money out of the accounting practice and out of the real estate sales. What this kind of led to then is that money I reinvested back into the business. So where I initially started printing out 100 of these brochures in my apartment, I'd now hired a team of people who were delivering 100,000 brochures a week across Sydney. This brought in quite a bit of traffic. So we started getting quite a lot of clients. And from that, I then built a team of accountants who now do a lot of that accounting and tax work. I think we've got about 12 accountants currently, 13, we hired another one last week. 13 accountants currently in the team, and we're building that business out. But what we've also managed to do is build the property business out as well. So we have a team now that does all the property sales. I looked at that further and went, the real money's in the development. So I started my own property development company. And then I thought, if we're doing the property sales, most people need to borrow money to buy property, so we might as well do the lending as well. If we're doing the lending, we might as well do the insurance. So just from that little idea right back at the start there, I was able to build this business that now has several thousand clients, like repeat customers, coming back to us, getting their tax done, buying properties, getting loans from us. And it's scaling out. Like, I'm in the position now where I'm about to go and buy 2 or 3 more businesses that will really ramp our business up. We've got a dedicated sales and marketing team. Now, the reason I'm saying this is it is just from that small idea at the start and not giving into the problems that were there. Like, I could have easily said, I've either got to go and get a job and work, or I've got to be broke and see my kids. And I wasn't prepared to accept either. I thought, no, I want to see my kids, and I want to build a business and get wealthy and have freedom. And it actually turned out what I had there was the perfect situation, because I was forced to build a business that didn't require me being in the same location. Now, my kids are older and they've grown up and everything now, but I've now built this business that has thousands of clients, dozens of people working in it, and it doesn't require me being in the same space. I was able to build this business that satisfied everything I needed. The business is still growing. It's in fantastic shape at the moment. And I'm now able to live this life where I don't have to be in any place at any time. I can travel freely. I'm still very involved in the business and I love being involved. It's going very well. I've also been able to then help other people build similar businesses. So help them build businesses where they've got a series of issues where they go, look, you know, I've got young kids and I need to make money, but I need to be available to look after the kids. You know, I've got a sick mother and I need to look after my sick mother, and all different sorts of problems where we've just sat down and worked it through and gone, okay, let's create a business that gives you exactly what you want. Now, it doesn't necessarily come straight away, but by putting a bit of effort and a bit of work into it, we're able to help people create these businesses that are highly sustainable, rapidly expanding, and that people are doing really well and living. If it's not their dream life, it's certainly on the way to their dream life. So look, if you would like to find out more about this and maybe get our assistance in this, just click on the link below, send through your details, and I would be happy to help you. I'll give you a bit of my time, we'll have a bit of a chat and see how it is we can help you. What we're really about is helping people create financial freedom. And by that, I mean the financial freedom to have the time to do what you want, with who you want, where you want, when you want. But you also have the money to be able to finance that happening. Like, we don't want you being poor and doing lots of fun things, and we don't want you being rich and not doing anything you want. We're going to have it so you get both. You get the financial freedom and the time to have and do what it is you want. So click on the link and I will help you out.